Hi, it's Kiffin Lebates here. So those of you who follow my posts or follow me on YouTube will know that recently I invented and filed a patent for a way of enhancing passive RFID tags to allow them to actually perform a limited number of open or one-way authentications. And I thought, why don't I reach out to my LinkedIn connections to see if you guys can help me come up with some further use cases for this invention, because I have this problem that I tend to focus on the abstract and the general, and I kind of implicitly see the value of things through that, whereas in the world in general people like to actually have a specific case that says this is why this is useful, especially since they're going to spend maybe 3 or 5 minutes looking at a new technology. They don't want to have to become experts in it. So the use cases I've currently got are, the first initial one was allowing passive RFID tags to move into a space currently occupied by QR codes, namely where you have parcels or goods that are being shipped through a supply chain and you want an extra layer of security that a QR code doesn't offer because they're easily forged. And similarly, the cheap sort of 1-2 cent RFID tags, they do have TIDs, but those are also forgeable too. So that was use case number one. Number two came out of a failed delivery of a parcel from a courier. Turns out it was the Royal Mail. Britain again, hey? The idea was that you could verify as a courier that you actually turned up at a location without needing to have a battery-powered or wired beacon that the phone would connect into and do the challenge response action for. So simply sticking a passive RFID tag on the doorpost of your front door would allow any courier from any supplier to scan it with their phone and say, yep, I have been here. So that was case number two. Number three I've thought of is for ticketing on public transport where you have different operators. So at the moment, for example, in Finland, you have a number of different bus companies operating buses in and around various areas, and the areas that they serve overlap. So you have these cases where you want to travel from A to B and you need to use several different bus companies. Now at the moment, they all have their own different RFID tag-backed ticketing systems, and they don't share their private keys amongst each other because that would be a security risk. So with this, you would be able to have an RFID tag ticket that allows different bus operators to accept each other's tickets. So that's case number three I've thought of. And case number four is a sort of more general idea about geocaching with value, which is, in this invention you can have it that when the tag authenticates itself to you, you can report that on the blockchain, and that actually authenticates the fact that you were at the location of the tag. The invention also has cryptocurrency transfers associated with it. So what you can actually do is when you authenticate the tag, it does so by returning a nonce, or a number used only once value, but that nonce can actually be the private key of a cryptocurrency address, for example a Bitcoin private key, and that would allow people who go to that particular location to actually receive payment for going there. Now maybe this has some applications to tourism or just entertainment. I'm not exactly clear, but I'm still thinking about this case. Anyway, so there's a number of cases that show what my invention could actually be useful for, but I know that there's a lot of creative people out there, so maybe you'd be willing to help and punt some ideas to the comments below. I'd really appreciate that, and I can guarantee that if you do, we're going to end up having a discussion and a two-way communication. Anyway, I better wrap this up because it's getting too long, but thanks for listening this far, and I hope to see you in the next video where we should return back to some real blockchain education. Bye for now.